Hey there. So I'm on with Zach, and I'm talking now about the relationship between a support line leader and the downline. And I used to think that, my parents, for instance, they're in my support line. I used to think that it was their responsibility to contact me and ask me how my business is doing. And I used to think, why don't they call me more? Why don't they ask more about this or that or this, that, and the other? See? Now looking back, I realized that I was wanting them to employ me. And in network marketing, we don't employ anyone. And so we need to understand the relationship between a support line leader, and we need to understand the relationship, of the Isagenix independent. That's why they call it an independent distributor. We are independents. We don't have a boss. We own our own business. You're the CEO of your own business. Okay? Now, one of the things that we share in training oftentimes is you are responsible for your success. No one else. You can't, if you don't succeed, normally the excuse or the rationality, the justification is my support line leader didn't support me. They didn't teach me enough. It's their fault I didn't succeed. Well, if you can own this, it is your responsibility to succeed and yours only. So we often say, if you don't have a support line leader who you're working with, you need to find out who is in your support line that you can partner with, who will take ownership of you and support you and train you and coach you. And will do conference calls with you and so forth. It's your job to engage them. And once I understood that, that's when things really shifted for me in my business. It wasn't my parents' responsibility to contact me and say, hey, Sean, who do you know you can put me on the phone with? It was my responsibility to contact my parents and say, hey, I've got this, that, or the other person, and I think they could be tremendous, and I'm connecting you to them. And you know what? They never, ever in the history of me doing Isagenix have my support line never have they refused to do a phone call for me? Have they refused to do a training for me? Have they refused to offer me coaching and guidance and mentoring when I've asked for it? But where the shift needed to take place again is I engage them. When I have a new business builder, it's not their responsibility to say, hey, Sean, I noticed you have a new business builder. And I called that person for you, and I welcomed them, and I offered my services to them. It's my responsibility to call them and say, guess what? I found a new consultant. They're excited. Could you call them? They'd be so excited. It'd be like hearing from a celebrity. And could you just introduce yourself and offer your services and so on and so forth? And then my support line has always been thrilled to do that. But see, if someone doesn't contact me and engage me, how would I ever know? My organization is quite large. I'm always staying busy working with the people that are engaging me. And the only ones I'll ever work with are the ones who know how to engage me. It's like the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Zach, you got me on a phone call today. You engaged me. That phone call would have never happened if you hadn't engaged me. I never would have called you and said, hey, Zach, I just have this strange feeling that you have a business builder over there in North Carolina. And, why don't you put me on the phone with them? It never would have happened. But what did you do? You've been involved in Isagenix for quite some time, and you learned how to effectively engage your support line leader to further your business.